My driving instructor is not helping me to learn to drive. Every mistake I make, he shouts. He gets angry on every mistake I make. When I ask questions, it seems he's not happy. And I'm now thinking of giving up this learn to drive. What shall I do? Can you please help? This is a comment made by someone on my channel, and I like to talk about that. I like to answer that. I like to address that and talk to the person who made this comment. Also, if there are others who are in the same situation, I like to talk to you. Hi, welcome to Driving TV, and I hope you are well. Let's start the lesson. Okay, so the comment is, she's saying that her driving instructor is not helping her to learn to drive. Every mistake she makes, her instructor gets angry. Every little mistake she makes, he gets angry. When she asks a question to the instructor, it seems he's not happy. He gets angry on everything she makes mistakes on. And at the end, she said that she's thinking of giving up this driving. And that pains me. That hurts me to hear somebody's about to give up because they don't have a good driving instructor. So I'd like to talk to you. First of all, you should never give up because you don't have a good driving instructor. That is not an option, okay? This driving is going to open doors for you. It's going to give you a lot of things in life. It's going to change your life. You're going to go to work. You're going to go and see your family. You're going to take your kids to school, pick them up, drop them off. These are the things you're going to do if you learn to drive. So this driving you need in your life for a lot of good things in life. So you need that. It's not the instructor who needs it. It's you who needs it. So first of all, you should never give up. Driving, you will learn. That is the mindset you should have from day one. Whether you have a good instructor or bad instructor or a worse instructor, it doesn't matter. You need to make a mindset that I'm going to learn this driving. You need to have a thick skin. Okay, so number one, giving up is not an option. You will never give up. You will always go to the end. You will learn and you pass. You need to have a mindset that I'm going to learn and I'm going to pass no matter what. That's number one. Number two, you don't have a good driving instructor. And I don't want to talk about that, the good, the bad, and the ugly. As you know, my channel is all about positives. I don't want to talk about the negatives. Okay? You don't have a good driving instructor, that's fine. That's fine. There are plenty of instructors out there, plenty of good driving instructors out there. Just find someone who you like. Talk to your friend, talk to your family members. Send a post on your social media and say you are looking for a driving instructor. Always best to go with a recommendation driving instructor. Okay, so find someone. If you are learning and you need help on learning and passing the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course. The course gives everything a learner needs to learn to drive and to pass the driving test. It has everything a learner needs. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read, and if you like it, you could always join the course. If your instructor is not good and they get angry on every mistake you make, that's fine. Just leave them. You're not tied in. You haven't signed any contract saying that you have to go back to them again for your next lesson. Just phone them up or just say to them, I want to change my driving instructor, or just phone and change your driving instructor. Okay? You don't give up. You change the instructor. That is the choice you make. Okay? Choice isn't to give up. That pains me when I hear somebody's about to give up because they have a bad driving instructor. Just because you have a driving instructor who's bad, it doesn't mean all are bad. There are thousands of good driving instructors out there. You just have to find them. Even if you have to wait for a little while to find the good one, just wait and then go to that person and then learn from them. Okay? So don't waste your time just going back, giving someone who you don't like the style of teaching. So number two, change your driving instructor. Number three is have some thick skin. Okay? This learning is not going to be easy, especially if driving is not your cup of tea. If you don't enjoy learning, if driving is not your thing, then you're going to find difficult learning, okay? Even if you get a driving instructor, even if you do get a good driving instructor, maybe you have a bad lesson. Maybe something you're finding difficult. You're going to go home and you're going to think of giving up. Even though you've got a good driving instructor. Just because you've got a bad driving instructor, it doesn't mean when you move on and go to the next driving instructor who's good, But maybe you are finding a difficult learning. Maybe something you are finding really difficult, maybe roundabouts, maybe parking, maybe crossroads. Maybe something is not getting to your head and you're finding it difficult. What do you think you're going to do? You might go home and cry and say, I want to give up. Do you want to give up? So there are many situations where you're going to feel you want to give up. Maybe you got a bad driving instructor. Maybe you're not learning something. Maybe this driving is too difficult for you. Maybe you don't have time in your life to learn. Maybe you don't have the money to learn. There are many problems, many things you're going to face when you're learning to drive. You just have to find a way to learn to drive and have the thick skin. Thick skin meaning that when you have a bad lesson, you just go home and you read about that. You study about that instead of thinking giving up. Because if you think of giving up and if you give up, who's going to lose? No one's going to lose in the race except you. No one's going to lose except you. You're the one who's losing. You're the one who's not going to have a license. The rest will. Your family members has, your friends has. Everyone else has a driving license. You don't. Why? Because you don't have a thick skin. You just gave up. Giving up is not an option. Okay? Have some thick skin. Okay? Whether you have a good instructor or a bad instructor. It's you who needs to learn and it's you who needs to do the work. So the next thing is do your own work. When I say own work, what does that mean? Does that mean just going to the lesson and do the lesson, go home and don't do anything about it? No, you go to the lesson and you learn. Whether it was good or bad, doesn't matter. Then you go home and you think about that. You make notes about that. If it's hard, if it's something you've learned but you haven't fully understood yet, go home, do Google, go to YouTube, watch videos and learn about that. Make notes about that. Try to get the understanding, the theory of that subject fully so that you fully understand the subject. The more you understand the theory, more it will be easier for you to learn when you're doing it practically. Okay? Without learning the theory, you're just going to go around the block. You're not going to learn quickly. For you to learn quickly, you need to get the theory. So do your own work, okay? Don't just rely on your driving instructor. The driving instructor is not going to do it for you. You are the one who has to do it. It is your job to go through the lesson and learn by yourself. Learn to be independent on everything you learn. That is your job. And you can't do that if you rely on your driving instructor on everything. Your driving instructor is going to give you everything you need. It doesn't mean they're going to do it for you. It is you who needs to have the thick skin. It is you who has to do the work. It is you who has to do it at the end. It's not the instructor, okay? So do your own work. Get the theory. Get the understanding outside the lesson. So when you go to the lesson, you fully understand the subject. Especially if you're learning a subject, maybe parallel parking, bay parking, roundabouts, whatever you've learned today, maybe you've learned 50%. You go home, because the lesson is finished, you go home and you read about that. Try to get more information on that so the next lesson is going to be easy for you. Okay? And next, I would say everything you learn, your aim, make a goal that you want to achieve that to be independent. That is your role. Just because you have somebody in the car, one of the problems many learners make is that they rely on the person who's teaching them. They rely on them too much. Whether it's a driving instructor, family members or friends, they rely on them too much. Remember, you are the one who's going to become the driver. The reason you are here is to learn. And for you to learn is to become independent. Try to be independent from day one. Have that set mindset. Have that goal to achieve that you want to be independent. That is your goal. That is what you believe. You need to believe that I need to be independent. I need to rely on myself to drive myself. So I'm here now with someone who's going to teach me, who's going to give me everything I need. But ultimately, at the end, it is me who has to be independent to be a driver. Driving, you're not going to have the instructor next to you all your life, or your friend or your family member. Your ultimate goal is to be independent, is to be yourself. So from day one, try to think of being independent on everything you learn. So whatever you are learning, whether you are learning roundabouts, dual carriageway, changing lanes, the blind spot, where the blind spot is, how to move off, how to stop, how to change gear, meeting situation, anticipation, all those things that you will learn, try to be independent on each subject individually. So moving off, stopping, can I do that by myself? Roundabouts, can I do that by myself? Crossroads, do I understand fully? Can I do it myself? Do I know where the blind spot is? And why do I check the blind spot? What's the reason? dual carriageway, changing lane, can I do it myself? So every subject you learn, your aim, your goal is to be independent from day one. That way, you'll achieve it quicker, you'll learn it quicker, and you'll become independent. Ultimately, when you go to the test, no one's going to help you. Your job is to drive by yourself independently without any help from anyone. Okay? So when you're learning, even though you got somebody next to you, your aim is to be independent so that they don't help you, they don't need to help you as much. And by the end, before you go to the test, you need to be fully independent on everything you've learned. Okay? Next is to believe in yourself. And I have said this before over and over and over again. Unless you believe you can, it is not possible for you to learn. Not just this driving, anything in life really. If you don't believe you can, you're never going to do it because you can't, you don't even believe you can. You are relying too much on the driving instructor, on your friends, on your family member. They're not going to do it for you. They will give it to you, but you'll have to do it yourself. And if you don't believe you can, you're not going to do it. So you need to believe that you can. If you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, then you're right. You won't do it. So the learning is 50% and believing yourself is 50%. Unless you have that partnership 100%, you're not going to be able to learn and pass. Just learning is not enough for you to go and pass, because ultimately you have to believe that you can, to show the examiner that you can. Just learning, going around the circle and learning is not enough. You need to believe you can, only then you're going to learn and go and do it yourself. You need to have the confidence knowing that I can do it myself. Believe you can. Set that goal from day one. One other thing before I finish is that make this learning important in your life. Make it important, okay? Many learners, what they do is everything else is important, but this learning is not important. Oh, I need to learn to drive. Okay, I'm going to pay someone, I'm going to go to the lesson, and that's it. And they've got other things in their mind. They're not planning, they're not making this learning important. When I say important, what do I mean? I mean is that you need to have some space, some time in your life for this learning, and you need to take it seriously. Okay, you can't just come into the lesson with a problem in your head. Okay, you've got a problem in your head, you come into the lesson, what do you think? Do you think you're going to learn? That problem needs to stay outside your car. You cannot bring that problem in the car and same time learn. This learning is hard. It's difficult. You have to take in a lot of information for you to learn. And you don't expect to learn when you have a problem in your head or you've got a problem in the house and you are here to learn. How are you going to learn? Everyone in your life in the house must know that you are learning. So when you come to the lesson, they take care of that problem. You come into the lesson, you are taking care of this lesson today now. So you're in the lesson for 2 hours, you are giving 2 hours. You're not thinking what's happening in the house. You're not thinking the problem over there. The problem stays outside the car. So everyone in your house knows you've gone to the lesson and that time is yours for learning. You shouldn't need to worry about the house. They will take care of that. That time is yours. You need to make this hour or 2 hour important for the lesson. Many don't do that. You see, they just come in and they got a problem in their head. Now you've got a problem and you've got another problem to learn. How are you going to learn? Can you see the problem? The problem needs to stay outside. We all have problems. Who doesn't have problem? It doesn't mean that it's going to affect us learn to drive. It's costing us a lot of money, time and energy to learn this. We can afford to lose this. We can afford to not to learn. And for us to learn, we need to have less problem. So say you got a problem, just leave it outside, come in, do the lesson, go back and try to solve the problem. You can't solve the problem and learn same time, can you? Okay? So having some time in your life, a space in your life for this learning is very important. You have to take it seriously. Okay? If you need extra help on Learn to Drive and to pass the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course, which gives everything a learner needs. The course will give you everything you need for you to learn and for you to pass the driving test. It has everything you need. I will leave a link in the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read. If you like it, you could always join the course. I hope this video helps and I truly wish you all the best learning and passing the driving test. Thank you for watching and hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.